up in Chicago, on the west side of Chicago, in a really rough neighborhood. There were gangs on every corner: the Disciples, the Executioners, the Sinister Six, the Vice Lords. My mother was afraid that I was going to get recruited by one of the gangs, and so she said, when you get out of school, run straight home. And I would run straight home, and when I got home, I watched television. And I watched so much TV, they nicknamed me TV Guide. True story. I didn't like reading, so I went to the library and I stole all the Shakespeare records. I got discovered because we had to read out loud in front of class. We had to read a scene from Oedipus Rex. And I remember Mr. Reed was like, Deborah Jenkins, you'll be Ophelia. Willie King, you'll be Oedipus. And Robert Townsend, you'll be Tiresias the blind prophet. Let's read. Deborah read like any kid would read in the inner city. Oedipus, you will marry thy mother thusly, and killeth thy father thusly. Oedipus. I had been listening to the Royal Shakespeare Company, so I read it like this. Oedipus, I pray not the rage upon thy soul that bequeaths thee not. The whole class was like, woo. I got my first audition for a pimp. I called my mother and I said, I got an audition for a pimp, and she was like, baby, be the best pimp you can be. The whole church was praying for me. Then I started auditioning for slaves. I called my mother, Mom, I'm up for this part of a slave. Baby, be the best slave you can be. I had saved $60,000 in the bank, and a lot of my friends were like, what are you gonna buy, a Porsche or a Jag? And I told Keenan, I said, why don't we make our own movie? Why don't we make a movie about everything that we're going through right now in Hollywood, all these bullshit parts and all this crazy stuff? We could do our own movie, man, let's try it. So, we started to shoot what would be Hollywood Shuffle. I had never directed before. When I scouted locations, it was a good location if the police couldn't see us. I hit a low at one point because I didn't know what I wanted anymore. I decided to go to Africa and climb a mountain. I decided I was going to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. I didn't know anything about climbing. I had never climbed anything before. That night, as I sat in my tent, I started to make notes and stuff about climbing a mountain. And so the first note I made was, the mud. Nobody wants to go through the mud. Everybody wants to be on top of the mountain. Everybody wants to be here. And then it made me reflect on the first day. Everybody wants to be here, but nobody wants to go through the mud. Trust in your instincts, always. And always remember, it's okay to get a little mud on you.